All right, everybody, welcome to the Zaleski Sports Show. Here we are, broadcasting from home today. We're just about a week or so from the NFL draft, and we have with us former Amherst Falcon, former Wisconsin Badger, now Californian, Tyler Biadasz. Tyler, thanks for joining us today. Let's first start with that. What in the world are you doing out in California?
I'm just training out here. You know, I wasn't planning on staying out here this long, but with the circumstances of with the coronavirus and everything, been out here training and just kind of still prepping and staying in shape for all of this process to go. But looking forward to going home about right before the draft. So hopefully I can get a nice flight with no one on it. Hopefully, but yeah, gotta definitely practice your social distancing in these times. But yeah, just kind of training out here and get ready for the draft and just kind of wait for a call.
Yeah, I mentioned it there at the top. Former Amherst Falcon, former Wisconsin Badger, and let's start there. So you played 3 years at the University of Wisconsin. The last 2 years, maybe all three. You can correct me here, but as center, you've got eligibility left. But you decided now was the best time to continue your career in the football world. Tell us about how you got to that decision to leave behind the University of Wisconsin and head to the NFL.
I think it was just my ultimate goal since I was probably like third grade. When I first started playing like Pop Warner, maybe even in first grade, like playing flag football, but just to play at the highest level possible. And my time as a Falcon was amazing, and as a Badger was extraordinary. And I think it was time for me to go out and do my dreams. And a lot of people, they might not be able to do that. And this opportunity just came to me, and I wanted to seize it. And it was just a blessing to come out. I had a little dinged up shoulder, but it wasn't even. I'm already back to 100%. So, but yeah, it's just that dream that I always wanted to become an NFL football player, and I just want to shoot for it. And this is the right time for me to go. And but yeah, I'm pretty excited about it though.
Yeah, we're certainly excited for you. We'll come back to the draft here in just a minute, get your opinion and maybe ideas of how it's all going to unfold. Before we get there, let's just reflect on the last 3 years. As a Wisconsin Badger, you got to block for some amazing running backs, had some awesome teammates, guys on the offensive line, bowl games, etc. As you think back on your 3 years, what were maybe one or two of your favorite moments as a Wisconsin Badger?
Oh, man. So one of my favorite plays as a Wisconsin Badger was my redshirt freshman year when we had reversed to Kendrick Pryor against Iowa. And I pancaked a corner. And it was one of those things where it was like your block started the whole play. And I'm usually in the middle playing center. So a lot of that, it doesn't really come from I'm a lead blocker in a sense. But so yeah, that was great, that one play. But otherwise, winning a bowl game, not this last year, but even getting to the Rose Bowl itself, like that's really extraordinary, and that's very memorable for me and for my career. And but even like the Orange Bowl, the Pinstripe Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, like all those bowl games, and to spend time with kind of the veterans of the team, coming from a redshirt freshman to a redshirt sophomore and junior throughout the whole thing. It was a great time to really catch up with the guys that you won't be able to play with, your last times with them. But it's a really blessing of just being able to get a great bowl game. We went to the Orange Bowl, the Pinstripe in New York and Florida. That was awesome to get away from the snow a little bit. But New York, they gave us a run for our money. But just to play in the New York Yankee Stadium, that's awesome to say you did that, and you came up on top. But we had our years. But no doubt it was just a blast being able to be a part of that group day in and day out. And I was so blessed with so many great players around me. And, it definitely paved the way of who I wanted to be and how I wanted my career to go. And so it was just overall, it was pretty great. I was pretty blessed to have great players and coaches.
Talking to 2020 NFL Draft prospect Tyler Biadasz. Tyler, we talk about offensive linemen from the University of Wisconsin that have been in the NFL, and there are too many to name. This show would go way beyond our time limits today to name all of them. People that watch the show on a regular basis know I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. I got my Jason Witten jersey on today, just kind of hanging around the house on an off day here during this downtime. Al Johnson, former Badger, played for the Cowboys. Travis Frederick, center, just retired due to an illness, and wanted to spend more time with his family. So there's some openings around the league in those kind of scenarios. Of course, people are hearing me say this, and they're throwing things at their computer or their phone right now. Of course, they want you to be a Green Bay Packer. Does it matter where you go, and then what are your people telling you about where what round and how this whole thing might unfold?
For me, I don't really care where I go. I just want to be in the right system, right place. It doesn't really matter, what position I play either. Like I'm good with whatever, and I think that's one of the things like I carry with, like I'm pretty adaptable to whatever is kind of thrown at me. So, but I really don't know what round I'll go, or what day I'll go. But I'm hoping for day 2. But we'll see what happens. And honestly, I don't mean to be all broad on that part, but honestly, it's a great blessing to be able to be a part of going to the NFL and showcasing what I have to offer. So.
And then there's a lot of guys in your boat, no doubt about it. I mean, if you're outside of the top 15, the top 20, there's a lot of I don't know, but I'm just happy to go, and certainly we're proud of you. We're proud of your accomplishments so far. Let's maybe go back to Amherst High School in your time as a Falcon there. Thinking about that, how did playing at Amherst help you get ready for the collegiate level? And then maybe what's some advice? I mean, there's a lot of boys and girls that are getting ready to make their college decisions that are juniors now, that'll be seniors next year. So thinking back to your high school days, how did that process unfold for you? And then what's maybe 1 or 2 things that you could tell some of the others that are looking at making a big decision like that?
That's a good question. I mean, I think everyone's different, and everyone has that like different, type of lifestyle they want to be at. Whether they want to go somewhere warm or cold or whatever it is. But I would just say like stay comfortable and stay true to who you are. I mean, if you want to go to a very high educated school and they have your sport and everything like that, or if you want to go somewhere where it's kind of mostly all about sports or the atmosphere or whether you like the climate or whatever it is. I mean, just do what's best and what's comfortable for you. I mean, everyone's different, and that it's hard to say. I mean, mine was I always wanted to stay closer to home, and I always wanted to be able to represent my home state. So that was kind of my thing. And growing up, I really didn't know what position I was going to play going in Wisconsin. It was kind of up in the air, and I took that shot where I knew. Every other school that recruited me, I knew exactly what position I was going to play. In Wisconsin, it was just because I just wanted to play for Wisconsin. And I knew it was a very prestigious, well-educated school, and I knew that, I would be very educated. I'd be very coached. I thought they had a great coaching staff. And just with that, I had that perspective, if I just work as hard as I possibly can and give it all I can, things will happen, whether it happened like this or happened like that. Either way, it would have been a great result. So I think, everyone has their cup of tea. So, I mean, I just say go with your gut and whatever it is, you are. I mean, everyone's different. So.
Yeah, fair enough. We're going to read through a couple of your accomplishments at the University of Wisconsin. We're going to talk about a new Wisconsin Badger from Wisconsin that's going to go and fill fill someplace on the offensive line. We'll get to that in just a minute. But Tyler finishes his career. You were a freshman All-American, 2018 first team All-Conference, 2019 you're the Remington Trophy winner. That's the top center in the country. You were first team AP All-American, first team All-10 or All Big Ten, and then going back to high school, you kind of talked about it a little bit with your choice. You were the Tim Krumrie Award winner in 2015. That award is given to the best high school defensive lineman in the state of Wisconsin, although you went on to play offensive line, kind of talking about that a little bit. Like, I'm just going to go play at Wisconsin. I'm going to play wherever they have me play, and they had you play in the offensive line. Yep. 2019 Tim Krumrie Defensive Lineman Award winner. Ben Barton of Stratford, who I know you know Stratford football well, is now a Wisconsin Badger and will play on the offensive line like you. So talk about that a little bit, how you transition from defensive line to offensive line, and maybe some advice you can give to Ben now going down to Camp Randall in Madison.
Yeah, I mean, so when I know the coaches probably reached out to him and probably kind of gave him a little sneak peek of where he probably will play, what position or kind of area. And I definitely know Coach Rudolph has definitely went through some drills for him and some video clips for him too to watch. So I definitely think he will be mentally a little bit more prepared than a lot of people going into college. So I think, Ben's a great kid. I've met him multiple times. I've watched him at camps and helped him out a little bit. And I've talked to his parents too after camp. So he's a great kid and he has great work ethic. And I have no doubt he'll be successful. He just has to keep on going, man. I mean, and for Ben, I think, it's all about how you approach it. And, you have to be adaptable and you have to be very stern about who you are and what you want to become. And I think for what I've seen from him and for where, Stratford's a great program and I have no doubt that he has great work ethic and he'll do anything he can to get on the field. So, and now it's just, taking it all in and soaking in all the information you can get and then just transform your body. And that was for me, that was a big thing for me. Going in, I weighed like 275, and my first year playing, it was like 310. So, you're definitely going to transform your body a little bit, but that's okay. You'll be fine. But just do it in the right way.
Yeah, right.
Eat the right foods.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just have fun with it, and it'll come to you.
Let's leave you with probably the toughest question I'll ask you here, maybe ever. We think back to your senior year in high school. You led your Falcons on the basketball court, 15.7 points per game. This year, Ben led his basketball team on the basketball court, 15.3 points per game. You also led your teams in rebounds. I was going to ask you if you two had ever been seen in the same place at the same time, but I think we found that out. As it turns out, with everything that went down around here, basketball seasons were cut short. Stratford had just won their sectional semifinal game, as did Iola Scandinavia. The two were set to meet on that Saturday. They were going to play for a chance to go to state. So here's the question, Tyler. We know you've got a rivalry with Stratford. We know you've got a rivalry with the Thunderbirds. Who are you going to take in that Stratford Iola Scandinavia basketball game?
Oof. Oh, man.
Told you, it's the toughest question I'm going to ask you all day.
It was funny because I actually watched the game when I was actually home for that. And my brother teaches at Iola Scandinavia. And we actually watched the game when they played who did they play again?
They played Lords.
Lords, yep, Lords. And they came out, it was a tight game and not knowing what, Iola would do with Ben with his size. I mean, and I'm sure they have a lot more size, so it depends. I mean, I want to say Iola, but I feel like, Stratford might be a little too physical for them.
All right. Well,
probably go with Stratford on that one.
All right, he's calling Stratford. Well, it's we want to have some fun here and keep things positive. There's a lot going on in the world right now, and that was one of the consequences of something that's happened here is that we didn't get to see that game, and a lot of people would have liked to see it. What a lot of people would like to see is you in an NFL jersey, and I think we're going to see that soon. Again, April 23rd is day one of the NFL draft. We'll all be watching. We'll all be cheering on Tyler Biadasz wherever he goes. Tyler, best of luck in the NFL.
Thank you. Appreciate it.